Thank you for listening to this Faith and Belief Forum presentation about the Waltham Forest Faith and Belief Awards. We'll be focusing here on how to make a good nomination. The deadline for nominations is midnight on the 6th of August 2023. The Waltham Forest Faith and Belief Awards celebrate and recognise the outstanding contribution of faith and belief communities across the borough. Projects can be voluntary or have paid staff, but must work primarily in Waltham Forest. Nominated people, projects, or organisations should be motivated by faith or non-religious belief and/or deliver work that benefits marginalised communities in Waltham Forest and/or have a focus on interfaith, inclusion, or social awareness. Nominations will close on midnight on the 6th of August, and the ceremony will be held on the 28th of September at Fellowship Square. There are 9 categories to nominate yourself for: environmental sustainability, health and well-being, inspiring youth, led by younger voices, cost of living, promoting inclusion and community cohesion, interfaith relations, supporting women and girls, and skills, jobs, and lifelong learning. As you'll see, the key to nominations is not how well you meet the specifications of the categories, but the quality of the application and the evidence you bring to it. With that, let's discuss the nomination questions. We'll go through the 3 longer questions in turn before the top tips for a good application. Question 1 will ask you to provide an overview of the background and main focus of the project you are nominating. The guidance you can see on screen is also given on the nomination form. The key here is the details. The judges will be looking for evidence of the need of the project. Can you be really specific about what the project does and how it achieves its goals? The more detail that you can provide, the easier judging is, and therefore the more likely your project is to do well. Projects that score the best on this question will have their needs expressed very well with clear evidence. Question 2 asks you to tell us about the impact of the project. Again, the guidance asks for evidence of impact. We accept multiple forms of evidence. It could be statistics about how many people you reach with your work, or any statistics on the outcomes from your project. It could also be quotes given by beneficiaries, or it could be an individual case study which explains in detail how you were able to help someone through your work. How you use the space to communicate your work is up to you, but once again, detail is the key. There are some more details about each of the categories on the website, and we want you to show the impact that is truest to the work that you do, rather than trying to conform to the category descriptions where possible. But you can use the categories for guidance of the type of activities that may be considered impactful. Impact is not always the same. A project in the cost of living category will naturally be looking to demonstrate a different type of impact to one in the interfaith relations category. Projects that score the best on this question will either have a very deep or very broad impact on the people that it helps, which is evidenced well. The final, longer question asks why the work of your project is so important. This is a final chance for you to tell us about your project. We want to see here a summary of why the work you do is worthwhile. You can sum up why the impact of the project meets the needs, and so summarizing the first 2 questions and showing how they relate to each other in a meaningful way. But also, you can tell us about the innovation, the uniqueness, sustainability, or any barriers that you've had to overcome to establish or continue to carry out the work of your project. The highest scorers here will show clear evidence of the important work that they do, fulfilling a role to address a clearly stated need. The highest scorers may also show how they are exceptional, going above and beyond to meet the need and deliver a stellar impact for you, your community, and communities. Before discussing top tips for the nomination form will also ask you how long the project has been in operation, how many people the project supports each year, and for a referee. The referee cannot be a paid employee of the project, but they must be someone else familiar with the work you do. This could be a volunteer, trustee, staff member if they're not paid, or beneficiary of your project. With that, let's talk about some top tips. Here are the top tips for a good nomination. The first thing with the award categories is detail. This is really the most important thing. When reviewing projects, the ones that are easiest to award are the ones that supply the most detail possible. Think about the first question. Do you demonstrate clearly who benefits from your project and why there is a strong need for the project? We will consider statistics, testimony, stories of how your project came to exist, barriers, and any challenges you've had to face. Everything that helps us more deeply understand the work that you're doing is useful, so think about how to use the space to tell us the most about your project in a way that represents you the best. The second question will ask you to tell us more about the impact of your project. The big projects don't necessarily automatically win. This is a question about whether you can demonstrate the depth of help you provide your beneficiaries instead of your breadth or number of beneficiaries. Also, how well does your project meet the need through the impact it provides? A project which has life-changing consequences for a few people will be considered as impactful as a project which has a less significant impact on a higher number of people. Finally, and especially in the last question, we'll be looking for the innovation, uniqueness, or stellar track record of the project. We are asking you here why the project is important, why it's life-changing for those it reaches, and also about the project overall. So what else is there about the project that you'd like to tell us, which really shows us that you deserve an award? We know that all do fantastic work and we recognize all projects, but this final question might allow us to differentiate between them. This final question wants to give you the space to show that you do important work which meets the clearly defined need. It's the final chance for you to summarize your work and convince the judges that you go above and beyond at times for those you help. And with that, you're all set to make your nomination for the Waltham Forest Faith and Belief Awards 2023. This is an incredible opportunity to celebrate faith, belief, community groups, and interfaith work in the borough. If you do have any questions or need assistance with making a nomination, please visit faithbeliefforum.org and search for the Waltham Forest Awards to find further answers to your questions and see how to get in touch. Good luck.